How we doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie. On today's show, we're going to be hitting on the hopefulness and the newfound energy in the Bronx for the New York Yankees. We're going to hit on the New York Giants picking up a new offensive lineman who is familiar. Offensive line. We are getting close to football season, man. Training camps are starting. Nunez, how do you feel about your offensive line right now? I know that's going to be a little different without having Kelsey in there. Get at me in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. I'll be right back. Going to set it up. Enjoy this intro. All right, I am back for JX Jr. Sports Podcast. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. I'm going to start it up with my beloved New York Yankees hitting 6 home runs in 10-run drubbing of the Philadelphia Phillies, the National League's best team, MLB's best team, the Philadelphia Phillies. Those guys, quite an impressive win. Third straight for the Yankees. First time they have won 3 consecutive games in the better part of a month and a half. Hard to believe that, but true. The addition of Jazz Chisholm has been every bit of energetic and welcome. Day one, Jazz played in the outfield, center field, in Fenway, still wearing his Marlins belt. Definitely caught a red-eye flight into Fenway. Move it over to Philadelphia. At the request of manager Aaron Boone, Jazz played his first career game at third base and did very well. Looked like a guy who's been playing that position his whole life. To those of you who don't know, Jazz came up as a shortstop, so he does have left corner experience. He has experience of that side of the infield. However, definitely a little intimidating when you're coming to a team like the Bombers in the middle of a pennant race. But Jazz is doing just terrific. Yesterday, 6 home runs, as I alluded to. Ben Rice with 1. Anthony Volpe with 1. Aaron Judge with 2. Jazz Chisholm with 2. And a cool little tidbit about the Jazz home run second time around is that he actually borrowed Aaron Judge's bat. He playfully said that he will never use that bat again because it was too heavy for him. Having said that, he still cleared the fence. Luis Gil, Cy Young hopeful. Undeniably the best pitcher this year for the Yankees. It hasn't been the reigning Cy Young Award winner, Garrett Cole, who is actually having his worst season as a pro. I just think it's a timing thing. You know, it takes time when you join the team midway through the year. The Chisholm addition is definitely going to cut into the playing time of DJ LeMahieu as well as Gleyber Torres. There's going to be a lot of mixing and matching going on defensively for the Yankees. And as a fan, I do have to call out Gleyber Torres, a guy who's made 13 errors at second base, is complaining to his manager that he doesn't feel comfortable playing third or moving around. Meanwhile, you have a guy who's been a Yankee only for 48 hours, 72 hours, that is willing to do anything that is asked of him. One guy's in a contract year. The other guy is under team control for the next couple. So I'm just going to say this rather politely. And the next time I say this, I'm not going to be so polite. Gleyber, grow up and do what's best for your team, because this team has carried you through many of your personal struggles. Get over yourself. You're not that good. As the Yankees go, it's amazing, truly amazing what the power of suggestion in just a few hours removed with a new addition. Plus you get your power-hitting DH slugger Giancarlo Stanton back in the mix. And all of a sudden, this offense, while I'm not going to say that they're fixed, looks a lot more confident. They have that demeanor. They have that swag back. Beating your division rival in their house after that's essentially where the slump started, I think it's a morale boost to say the least. And now you go into Philly. And, you know, the Phillies are a great team. But the Yankees have an opportunity to win the series today. And that's something to feel good about. You know, the Philadelphia Phillies, in my opinion, have the best chance of representing that league in the World Series. It's either going to be them or LA. I don't see any of these other wild card teams coming up and snagging it out. But that's what makes it so exciting. I've got some metrics I want to put up on my board here to get into some of this, just to kind of highlight the kind of year that Aaron Judge is having. This is going back to the first 81 games. Obviously, we are slightly past that mark. Judge currently is closing in on 40 home runs. But just to put it in perspective, 2022 versus 2024, he does have a legitimate chance of breaking his own personal record, which is also an American League as well as franchise record for home runs with the New York Yankees. It's incredible. You're talking about a record held by Roger Maris that went for 61 long years. Judge broke it in 2022. Last year was an injury-marred season for Judge. This particular year, he has a chance to re-break his own franchise and American League record. I've said that I think the best Judge can do, assuming he doesn't get injured, or if people just literally avoid pitching to him, is the 66 number held by former Chicago Cubs slugger Sammy Sosa. Another metric here, highest second half OPS leaders since the year 2000. Look at this list. Barry Bonds, 2001. Barry Bonds, 2002. Barry Bonds, 2004. Barry Bonds, 2003. At 5 is Aaron Judge. Now, whether you like him or not, Barry Bonds undeniably, you know, with the steroid accusations galore and anything that's in, you know, that pegs him with the Balco scandal. One thing that I think we all could agree on as baseball fans is that Barry Bonds was that damn good, and he never needed that crap to be great. But this is what Aaron Judge is doing compared to the steroid era numbers of Barry Bonds. So what Judge is doing is interesting, because while a lot of people hate the Yankees, I think one thing's for certain. Most people root for Aaron Judge to chase down these records because of the fact that Major League Baseball refuses to really acknowledge those records because of the era. I could go on for a song and a dance about why I don't agree with that, because I've said on many a show, until Congress cared, Major League Baseball did not. What do we have in store for the Yankees immediately? Jack Flaherty, who's having a hell of a season with the Detroit Tigers, led by fuck you, AJ Hinch. Yeah, I didn't forget. I drop that every chance I get. He might be a Yankee before tomorrow. They have a few hours to still strike a deal. There has been rumors that Nestor Cortez, the embattled starter for the Yankees, might be getting moved as well. Do I think it's enough for the Yankees to make their run? That remains to be seen. I still feel that the Yankees need to add to the bullpen, even if they land a quality starter like a Flaherty. I do have to believe that Cole will get his act together. I do have to believe that Luis Gil continues what he's been doing all season. But adding a Flaherty as a number 3 starter or a number 2 and pushing down Gil a spot, the point is having that big 3 going into October is massive. The Orioles have made their fair share of moves. So the Yankees countering and, getting as much as they possibly could going into the stretch run is going to be the difference between being a playoff team and being a World Series contender. But with the reinsertion of Giancarlo Stanton into the lineup, Jazz Chisholm's bringing all kinds of energy. You already know what you have in Soto and Judge, arguably the most comparable thing to Maris and Mantle in the same lineup the Yankees have had. To put that in perspective, you're talking over 6 decades ago. The Yankees are ultra talented, but the pitching will still be the Waterloo of this Yankees team if they do not improve it. They need some arms. I wouldn't be opposed to even getting another bat, but it's amazing how things look right now. You reinsert a couple of players, and guys who have been slumping are suddenly hitting again. Anthony Volpe's been red hot after the All-Star break. Alex Verdugo's starting to find his stroke again. And Aaron Judge, it's just plain old scary when he's in the batter's box. It almost makes you feel like, why would anybody at all, want to pitch to this guy? Got some comments that flew in. Thank you, Yankees. Yeah, Nunez is a Dodger fan. Beat the Philadelphia Phillies. Please help us Dodgers out. Judge is a beast. All facts, my man. I actually like your O-line. Our O-line. We might have lost Kelsey, which is a pretty big loss, but I know we are ready. Yeah, Kelsey's definitely not an easy guy to replace, but you guys have done a great job of cultivating talent and getting them into the team culture. Gonna move this along in just a few moments, but in the comments, get at me. What do the New York Yankees still need? I'm gonna say this. John Berti comes back soon. I see him as a depth piece, a guy who could come in, pinch run, and occasionally play, particularly with the rosters expanding. That would happen while my Bella, will you calm down? Yeah. Just bear with me. I'm not gonna even try to talk over that bark. Okay, Ben. It's okay, honey. There's other dogs that are allowed to live in this neighborhood. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. Where was I? Okay. Going down the stretch run. New York Yankees. I feel that at third, it's going to be a bit of a platoon. You're going to have LeMahieu. You're going to have Chisholm, possibly even Glaber. I think Glaber's still going to predominantly play second base. The return of Anthony Rizzo coming soon essentially tells me that your 2 main guys are going to be bench pieces. Are going to be Rizzo and probably Berti. Jason Dominguez is on the mend. He'll be back. And that's part of the reason why Jazz is learning the infield, because I think the ultimate plan is to put Jason Dominguez in the outfield. What I like about all of this going on is that it takes Aaron Judge out of ever having to truly play center field. And that is a blessing, because you don't want that guy doing what he did over the last couple of years. Because when you have that valuable of a bat, you don't want him getting dinged up with the rigors of having to play, in my opinion, the second most important position on the field outside of shortstop. So it's just a winning streak. It's nothing to do a backflip over yet, but it all starts with one, and the Yankees have 3 in a row right now. And I most definitely think that the atmosphere, the temperature, and the positivity in that clubhouse has taken a turn for the better over the last 72 hours. Stay tuned. It's going to be very, very good. All right, we're going to move it along to football. The New York Giants signing guard Greg Van Roten, 34 years old, wily veteran of the NFL wars, and very familiar with Carmen Bricillo's offensive line coach. Carmen Bricillo came over from the Vegas Raiders as well as swingman Jermaine Illuminor. Part of building an offensive line is having guys that understand their coaches to the full potential. The reason why this move makes so much sense is because Evan Neal's coming off of ankle surgery, and we do not know when exactly he will be returning. And to be honest, he wasn't good when he was healthy. I do believe a new offensive line coach can change the trajectory of guys that just haven't played well. You saw it with Eric Flowers and other linemen that did not do well with the New York Giants succeed in other places. My theory on that is coaching actually does matter. But I feel that this is a person that can slide in as a day one starter, potentially left guard, right next to perennial Pro Bowler Andrew Thomas. In the middle, it's going to be JMS. Next to JMS, we're looking at John Runyon. And next to John Runyon, we're looking at Illuminar, which is not the blind side. Blind side would, of course, be Andrew Thomas for quarterback Daniel Jones. I know that USA Today did not give the New York Giants a very favorable prediction. If I'm not mistaken, they got the Giants going 4-13, which is quite awful. But I have higher expectations for my team this year. This is a team that's just 2 years removed from making the playoffs and 1 game away from the NFC Championship. We did lose Saquon Barkley, but we did bring in quite a bit of help on the defensive side of the ball. I look for Spider-Man Brian Burns to bust up the league, have a great year. I think him and Kayvon Thibodeau are going to present many a problem to offensive lines around the league. And what I enjoy about that combo is that you really can't get away with double teaming anyone. Because if you double team one of them, guess who could come in the middle and cause some havoc? Dexter Lawrence. Our new defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, had a great deal of success with his previous defenses that he coached against the run. I do believe that our defense is going to be much improved. But to be fair and not blow too much sunshine up everybody's arses, I'm going to say that the secondary of the New York Giants does worry me. But you know what helps an inexperienced secondary? A really good pass rush. We're not going to be over blitzing like we did under the watch of Wink Martindale. But what I do like about these Bowen defenses is that they emphasize ball hawking. There's not going to be a lot of easy peasy coming over the middle as there has been in previous years. You're not going to get frustrated as a Giant fan on 3rd and longs and guys are just not guarding the chains. I think Bowen, in that metric of his strategy, is a little less reckless than Wink was. Now, mind you, this is a Giants team that led the league in takeaways last year. Despite only winning 6 games, the New York Giants were tied with the Baltimore Ravens, who are actually the best team in football last year. So there is hope and optimism. But it's a quarterback-driven league, folks. It ultimately comes down to Daniel Jones. Malik Neighbors was an excellent pick. I'm happy that the Giants didn't reach for a quarterback if it wasn't the one they wanted. Way too early prediction on the Giants. I got them winning 7 to 8 games. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I do think they are on the way up. There were some interesting ones with this USA Today breakdown of the NFL. They have the Dallas Cowboys with a losing record, missing the playoffs. I found that a little surprising. They've got the Green Bay Packers as the best team in the NFC. That I could see as feasible given Green Bay's schedule and the ascension of quarterback Jordan Love. They brought in Josh Jacobs. I was a little upset that they didn't bring back Aaron Jones. I thought after that performance against Dallas, he earned himself another year. But that's what the direction that Green Bay decided to go in. They also took former Giant Xavier McKinney, who is most definitely going to help at the safety position as he is entering his prime. I still support the Giants on not re-signing him for the sheer fact that safety and running back are the 2 most replaceable positions in the league besides punter and maybe kicker. But it will be interesting. We got new onside kick rules. You cannot attempt one until the 4th quarter. You have to inform the referees, what you're going to be doing. I don't like it. I like the element of surprise. The kickoffs will be more entertaining, at least. Yeah, they paid him big time, Daniel. 4 years, 22 mil. Giants will be 6-11. We shall see. That's more optimistic than what Zappy has us doing, I'll tell you that. But we will definitely see how that plays out. I have some optimism. I truly do. And it's not because I'm a Giants fan. It's because I'm a firm believer that when you're taking over a mess, you have to take your time to fix it. And I don't believe in quick fixes because quick fixes are just that. If you recall when Jerry Reese went overboard and spent a ton of money on 5 players, predominantly on the defensive side of the ball, it led to a number 2 defensive ranking in the year 2016. 5-12. Nah, Nunez, you're wildin'. They ain't go. The only way they go 5-12 is if Dak misses like 3 months or something. They're not that bad. We'll say this though: Dallas's new O-line is going to take some time to gel, but I certainly do not see 5-12 for them. It's going to be good though. Going to be good. What else is on my brain? Team USA. They took care of biz a couple of days ago against Serbia. Nikola Jokic, their main NBA star on that squad. I'll be honest, guys. The new brand of Team USA just doesn't grab me. I'm gonna root for them because they're Americans, but they just don't grab me. And man, have I seen some ignorant comments coming in about how the 92 Dream Team could not hang with some of these newer teams, and I am just floored. Like, the stupidity is real. I'm a firm believer that if you didn't see certain players play or if you're too young to remember them, you shouldn't jump into those convos if you didn't do your due diligence. That's just my take on that. Team USA will bring home the gold. What else is burning on the mind? Tyler Kolek, newly acquired New York Knicks via the draft. This kid's going to be good. I really enjoy what he's been doing in the summer league. I think the Knicks are the biggest threat in the East to challenge the NBA champion Boston Celtics. Aforementioned Jokic, I think his Nuggets have a bounce back year, and I think they're playing Dallas in the finals of the West. Way too early NBA predictions. I got the Knicks and Celtics in the East. I got the Mavericks and the Nuggets in the West. Of course, this could be swayed due to mid-season trades or just big-time injuries. But in closing, I want to say this. The MLB trade deadline has been on fire. We will be dropping a show tomorrow that we're probably going to work on today to fill everyone in on who got better and who got good enough to make a legitimate run. I did not see Terrence Crawford knock out Austin Theory. I did not watch wrestling. Elaborate on it, though, Nunez. I'm here a couple of minutes. Austin Theory does kind of have that punchable face. So as we all know, wrestling is scripted, but I don't like when people say wrestling isn't real because wrestlers get real injuries. Wrestlers.
Oh, yes, they do.
That's correct, son. They certainly do get a lot of injuries. Excuse me. Yeah, I got him getting into wrestling occasionally. We do what we can. I actually had him watch Mania 3. He was pretty intrigued how Hulk Hogan was able to get Andre the Giant over his shoulders. Of course, Hulk Hogan is at a part of his life where it's probably better to just stop talking. But yeah, I've been making a more concerted effort, Daniel, to get more into wrestling now that it's under the watchful eye of Triple H. I think it's a better product. It's going to be interesting when they move over to Netflix because they're basically going to be going full on old school mode where you're going to be seeing blood, you're going to be seeing cursing, you're just going to be seeing more realism, and I think that's what wrestling fans want. The PG era is in the rear view now. I will say this, Daniel. Of course, we didn't drop our previews yet. We're going to be starting to work on our previews in just a few days now that the month of August is upon us. But barring something catastrophic, I'll give you a slight spoiler, Daniel. I got your Philadelphia Eagles winning the East and winning it with relative ease. The playoffs are another animal. We'll see how that plays out. But I do have your Eagles winning the East. This I'll check out. I'm probably going to have to watch it Sunday morning because I get out too late on Saturday. or maybe, when I get out of work and settle in, I might watch it. So I'm going to be making an effort to make sure I don't get any spoilers, because SummerSlam is one of the flagship pay-per-views. So I do want to make a point to watch that. And yes, it will be epic on Netflix. I'll be honest with you, Daniel. I kind of miss the original WWE Network versus what they offer on Peacock, because they cut into that library so much. Because in the era of cancel culture, I understand there's some stuff that the WWE did in the old days that just isn't embraced anymore. You could say the same about comedy. It is what it is. Oh, you're working on Saturday as well? Yeah, I'm going to make it a point to watch it, man. I'm a bit out of the loop. I was all the way in, but after WrestleMania, just because of life getting in the way and so many other things going on, I've kind of lost touch with the WWE, but I'm going to make an effort to get back into it. Just to let y'all know, tomorrow morning we will be dropping the trade deadline show. We're going to comb through these rosters. We're going to tell you who's better, who's worse for the wear. And more than likely, within the next 7 to 10 days, we will be dropping our first divisional preview. Announcements to come on that. The NFL is all the way back, folks. To my New York Giant fans, today is Tuesday. Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, Hard Knocks will be dropping their final episode of the offseason training camp with the New York Football Giants. So to my Giant fans and football enthusiasts alike, give that a look tonight, 9 p.m. on Max. Also, make it a point to check out the Casual Convo show. That's where you can get my guy, Mr. Idris Salam, and his co-host, the beautiful Miss Coco. They talk about all kinds of topics, from wealth management to issues around the world, things that need to be spoken on. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to Richard on the boards there, Hand Radio. Gonna actually get me a Hand Radio hoodie. I love those things. They look just dope. Also, we're going to be putting out merch pretty soon. I got the ladies in my life that are going to be working on that in the near future. I will be keeping you guys in the loop on that if you want to purchase any merch from the show. Until next time, I am Richie. I appreciate you guys taking a small part of your Tuesday and hanging with me. Announcements to come on our next 2 shows. I hope you guys have a very prosperous Tuesday. Take care, everyone.